Oh no, now. Oh, chair over there. Just do it. The lapel is there. The mic is there.
Right. Good afternoon, all. Can you hear me? Bit higher. Now? Better? It's not amplifying, I don't think. Hello? Hello? Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. Maybe I have to hold it, yeah. It's better. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the 20th anniversary for our beautiful retreat centre, which we have named Virupa. So many of you have been here, of course, many times. And if it's your first time, special welcome. You're again invited to come here anytime you like. We have often retreats. Lama Choedak Rinpoche teaches here, as you know. And so we'll start today by formally acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. So today we have a little bit of some eventful things that we will go through. And so I'll go through that quickly. So we're going to start with a meditation that Rinpoche is going to lead us. Thank you kindly, Rinpoche. And then we will, some tea's being served now, as you can see. So please enjoy. And some rice will follow that as we do sit still and are guided by Rinpoche. After that, we're going to circumambulate the building once around, all of us, by holding the teachings, so the pitches, so these, and we will arrange that when it comes to that, but that will start just after the meditation. After that, we're going to all gather together and take a photo. We've got a special photographer here ready to go. And we'll all stand in front of the building as we have done in the past. And we'll take some nice pictures. Following that, or during that, we will also cut the cake and then proceed to the back of the house where we are going to do a flag raising ceremony, which is a traditional thing to do. So if you haven't done that before, that's really exciting and fun. And Rinpoche will lead us in that as well. I didn't introduce myself. I mean, most of you know my name. I'm Lydia. I'm the current president of the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra, as you all know. And if you haven't met me, I'm really happy to see you all. It's really nice to have a wonderful community that continues to join all our events, especially come up here to VRC. So, yeah, it's really lovely and engaging. So, also to acknowledge that at the moment we're building a new temple in Canberra. Many of you may know that as well. And so that's coming along really well with construction to start early next year. We've got all the approvals ready to go. So that's exciting. It'll be in the suburb of Canberra, in Canberra. And so we're very excited for that to be built, of course, where we will have special space in Canberra to do these events and practice, and our own home finally in Canberra. We've been renting ever since. So we will keep you all informed, of course, where that is up to, and hope to see you there for the opening sometime either end of next year or early 2024. We will see. So now I'll hand over to Rinpoche, and thank you, everyone. I'm sure you'll hear from me again.
Thank you, Lydia. Good morning, everyone. Everyone that I know and that I don't know, big or small, I'm glad that you all can make it here on this glorious sunny day after a long stretch out winter. It's not many days that we have sunny and not so windy or wet. So we have all kinds of elemental conditions that doesn't permit to meet even when there's no COVID. So it's the first time for some time we have had a gathering like this here at Virupa due to many things. So here today we mark the 20th anniversary of Virupa Retreat Center. So in order to honor what the retreat center represents, the retreat center is where people do retreat, to do meditations, whether it's a personal retreat for a couple of days or group retreats for weekend, or we do that half a dozen times here at these. And then there's lots of people who've been doing long retreat from a couple of weeks to months and some even years. So this has been a dedicated place where people do Buddhist things. What the Buddha became enlightened was by doing meditation. So I think best way I thought we could celebrate this is doing short half an hour meditation in silence. And please feel free to sip your chai, because we would not observe the formality of waiting everybody served and saying that. So help yourself with the kapse cookie, and maybe some sweet rice will follow. So please help yourself as part of mindfulness of tasting. So meditation is not restricted to sitting still and quiet, but also mindfully sipping the tea, and then sitting still, digesting that, while allowing that. So we want to allow the tea and kapse and sweet rice flow while you are doing, because some of you may be a bit confronted by sitting quietly 30 minutes with everyone. But you must experience what constitutes meditation. Meditation constitutes stillness, and that is possible within your situations. At least you are all have a seat, and because everybody's arriving a little bit later than time, so we don't have a big sort of lack of space that we thought we might have, but people will, I think, arrive in their own time because it's such a nice day, and this event goes on until 3 p.m. So at the very beginning we will do the meditation. As I said, if you have the tea and kapse and sweet rice come to you, please help yourself or wait until the end wait until end of the meditation. If you are among those who want to sit still and meditate, and so the meditation is very, very important. People retreat from being busy. People retreat from being restless. People retreat from being talkative or looking hither and thither and becoming very restless, looking on the phone, looking hither and thither, always trying to do something. So that's retreat, is stopping all of that and entreating yourself to the inner stillness. What I say, you should observe 4S. First is stillness of your posture. Second is sincerity of your motivation, that we're going to dedicate the meditation for peace and absence of war and ill will and resentment and what makes many people's life very havoked by sufferings. So we dedicate our celebration for the peace in the individual, and then that will ripple effect to the world at large. But individuals are not at peace with their own heart, then they will create all kinds of havoc. And so therefore, sitting still, sincerely, what are the enemies they themselves need to conquer within themselves? That is ill will and wrong views, judgment. So we try to still those things. We try to quieten those inner noises. So everybody's observing stillness would mean that you too need to quieten the inner noise. Lots of people's inner noise doesn't allow them even to sleep. They're exhausted physically, but they couldn't sleep because they have lots of emotional stories they keep telling, and they're not able to quieten or cancel those conversations. So stillness is not just physical stillness, but inner stillness. And so what you do, you sit correct posture, and I'll guide you a few minutes upon that, and also you watch your breath, you follow your breath, which I will guide as well. And you do that with sincerely, you know. And then third S is serenity. Your attention should be very serene. It shouldn't be distracted or shouldn't be agitated or shouldn't be dull or sinking. So rather serene and apt and wakeful, as if all your senses are enlivened with a good attentive meditation to whatever focus of the attention is. And the fourth is simple. Just sit still. We're not asking you to lift boulders. We're not asking you to fix the road. We're asking you to just sit still with everyone. So it's not complicated. You're not learning Russian here. You're not learning anything. You just simply sit still. So I'll guide you that. I will do the meditation in 3 lots of 10 minutes. Before that, I will do the refuge prayer. So most of the congregation here know the refuge prayer by heart. Others who you can do in your own thoughts. You can dedicate our today's meditation for world peace and long life of His Holiness Dalai Lama, whose anniversary of awarding the Nobel Peace Prize was celebrated in Australia yesterday, but in the rest of the world today. So we haven't missed anything. So you haven't been able to attend that celebration. Please consider this is an offering in honor of His Holiness Dalai Lama. So dedicate your meditation and giving your time here for the valid contribution of His Holiness's amazing leadership by promoting humanity and one world and one not. So you can sincerely offer the prayers for his long life and world peace and humanity in general, and particularly spread of teaching through firm establishment of centers such as this. So many of you have been very important part of this community, and so therefore we are very here to hear some stories from some of the people who have been involved in here as individuals, as retreatants, or as members of the community running here. So you will hear some stories of the place and people and what doing makes this place kept for what it is. And so with that now, please join your hands at the heart, and then we do the prayers. After that, I'll lead the meditation. Oyenda Buddha Dhamma Sangha Aitere Vyeje Latama Bhaivache Hajevandala Hajare Vadavatruve Hendabu Dadarama Vazanga Hajere Vyeje Latama Bhaivache Hajevandala Hajare Vada Hajave Zanjecha Danzo Jecha Nala Chanja Parado Dane Jasuja Dagechen Sojebe Sonamanje Rola Penja Zanje Rabarajo Mehabis happiness and the cause of happiness. May there be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never part from the happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May hobbies happiness and the cause of happiness. May there be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never part from the happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. Samja damja dewada deveja dan dembra juja donga ta donga ji judan jawra juja donga mebe dewada me jawa juja nyere jadan dan dewe danyam la nebo First, try to sit in a correct, comfortable, peaceful posture where you primarily keep the back straight, your hands on the lap, preferably two thumbs touching at the level of your navel by placing on your lap in the meditative gesture. And keep your eyes focused straight on the floor in front, not closing the eyes, no wide open, no blinking. Simply keep a peaceful, serene gaze. While you are keeping this stillness of the posture, sincerely make a vow to not to move, to strategize how we can remain steady and still in times of crisis and difficulties. Like the mountain not moved by wind, we too in our inner tranquility shall remain still in spite of what appears to be happening around us. So with this in mind, scan your posture by the mindfulness, if the back is straight or not. If not, slowly straighten. If it's slouching, slowly erect the back. Imagine a single hair pulls you towards the ceiling each time you finish the scanning upwards. And then you reverse the scanning of the posture from the crown downwards and the temple of your forehead with the gaze of the eyes, chin slightly tucked in, lips and mouth left natural, hands on your lap, elbows, shoulders balanced. So keep mindfully engage your mind to scan the body up and down while remaining still, sincere, serene, and simple. So I'll leave you to it for the next 10 minutes. Hold the vigil for the peace of the world, like everyone next to you holding, sitting stillness. We too are going to help others holding us in a stillness. So now the second 10-minute meditation. Now that you are already sitting still, now focus of your attention will shift to the breath. So first inhale, you do the inhalation knowingly something positive. Think of something good and mount it on the inhalation and feel inspired. Just follow the inhalation, and then as you go to the lung, permeate the oxygen into your whole nervous system, feel rejuvenated internally, and then you slowly exhale. As you exhale, let go any tension, restlessness, sadness, worries, anxiety in the 1 out breath. And count that as 1. And then do the second round. Again, inhale, maybe mentally say in when you inhale, and permeate, hold. And then you exhale, out, 2. And then do the third with the same stillness of your attention. Your posture is correct. Your mind is not wandering off or forgetting, but it's mindfully inhaling when you're inhaling, permeating when you're permeating, exhaling when you're exhaling, and then count the number 3 and the 4 and so on. If you lose the count, which is a sign that you are actually concentrating, you're noticing that you're losing the count, then start again. Take a short 10-second break and then start again from 1. If you don't lose the count, you keep counting, then do as many as you can count to boost your mindfulness. You do all of the above while keeping your posture still and balance and not drifting off in dullness or boredom or distraction. But inhalation when you're inhaling, in, retaining when you're permeating the oxygen in the whole nervous system, feel rejuvenated, then mentally say out when you exhale, and then count the number. Now for the last 10 minutes, as you're already really getting used to sitting still and being conscious of the in-breath and out-breath, and then counting. Now this time we will use the same technique, but the higher resolution of concentration. To make that happen, we do reverse counting. I will count, for instance, from 60, and then 59, 58. Each time I inhale, hold, exhale, I'll count at 60. And the next one, carefully inhale, hold, exhale, 59. Next one, 58. And so this way you make sure that you have a meticulous way what to remember, what to do. You are in-breathing when you're breathing in, positive thoughts, inhale all the peace, goodness you wish for the world to have, inhale, and permeate that into your oxygen and fill your lung and flood your whole body with a very rejuvenating feeling. And then as you exhale, let go any sadness, worry, fear, anxiety, tension in one out breath, and then count. And then each round try to boost the quality without losing the attention, without distracting, without becoming dull. Keep the posture right. And this is exactly what, can you imagine, Buddha said doing this 6 years. We can do another 10 minutes, can't we? I'm sure we can. So thank you, everyone. That is called calm abiding meditation. So you're meant to sit very calm, serene, and as any doubts or any distraction comes, you slowly breathe them out, and then again come back to your breath. And so as you learn to sit still, and then let your mind gain the steadiness and stillness and serenity, then you become very clear. You're calm, and your nature, your everyday nature, become a lot more stable and steady. Things doesn't distract you or agitate you, but you instead feel compassion. You respond them peacefully and kindly. Instead of thinking they are wronging you, you see they are not calm. When I'm not calm, I do that exactly myself. So there it shows. So it is my turn to calm this by not reacting. And so you breathe out some positive thoughts towards them. And so you actually can make these useful in everyday life. You have a strategy how to remain calm and not get easily agitated, upset, and negativize. And this is how Buddhism promotes peace through meditation. This is how Virupa Retreat Center was established in relatively close to Canberra, but still secluded from your main road noise and the noise of the neighbors and other activities. So that's why we have those huts. There are 4 huts where people do individual retreats, and people learn to do teachings in here, group retreats, group meditation on the weekends, while others might do individual, private, retreat in those huts. So if this is your first time, to many of you, maybe it is your first time, you at least have a sample of what people come to do here by participating as the first segment of today's celebration. So we do this meditation every Sunday, by the way, at this very hour, 11 o'clock, on Zoom as well as in person. And then we run regular weekly meditation, which is always fully booked. This class has been going on nearly 30 years. We have never stopped. We've been doing every week, school term, 8 weeks course. And this has been going, and it has been our main activity at the center, even before the mindfulness concept was promoted in the world. We've been doing this ever since I came to Canberra. So it is through the good work of many members and community members that has made to establish this center, for instance. So now we will pass it on to Lydia, who will lead into inviting people to share their stories of being part of here and doing retreats for a few minutes before we do the circumambulation of carrying the holy text. The idea of this carrying text is when Buddhism came from India to China, people like Xuanzang traveled thousands of miles on foot and then studied Sanskrit for many years, against all odds that he suffered on the road, and then carry on his back all the books in Sanskrit back to China. Likewise, Tibetan Lotsawas, translators, early 7th century onwards up until 11th century, did the same. They all went to India, and then they studied the Sanskrit, and they learned the Sanskrit and then translate all the texts into Tibetan, not in India, but in Tibet, by inviting Indian masters, panditas, and collaboratingly they worked together and then translated those texts. So therefore it's auspicious for us to honor those journey, for us to carry one book. If you want to carry more than one, we have enough. Carry it on your shoulder, and then we will do the circumambulation of the building round. People walk mindfully every step. We're walking to step, following footsteps of the Buddha to follow the way of peace, non-violence, kindness, and humanity. So if you would join the walk, that would be also a part of walking meditation. That's what people do here. They don't just sit whole day, it's difficult. Sit maybe an hour and then get up, walking maybe half an hour, up very mindfully, step by step, and then come and sit maybe another 40 minutes, and then walk, and then a meal break, and that's how they do the meditation, both sitting, walking, sitting, and walking. In traditional Buddhist country, they do a lot more quick walk. They walk around the stupa many times. They don't want to walk slowly. They want to do as many rounds as possible. It also becomes exercise, you know. The Zen style or Buddhist meditation walking very slow, you know, almost like you're stalking. But today it's up to you. But we all walk in file. We file it together, mindfully walking. It will bless the place by carrying the text, bless the nature and vicinity around here and wildlife. We had very difficult time with elements in Australia, flood, fire, pandemic, you name it. It has been disastrous. And the world has faced that too. So carrying the holy text going around is to let the blessings spread. So that one we'll do after the short speeches that will follow now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you all for joining in. So as Rinpoche mentioned, we're going to have some of our residents speak of their time at Virupa. Some of them have been here at this centre for a very long time, up to 15 years. And so the first one I will invite up is Tachin La, if you could come up and a few words.
Yeah. Good day, everyone. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming today. First time I came here was maybe for the first Karma abiding retreat. At that time, I was telling Lama yesterday, the surroundings here was very dry. It was like a drought, and everything was brown. The back here by the flags was all very short brown grass. There was no bushes. It looked quite different, and the building looked different. It's all been decorated and painted since, and we've made many improvements. More to come, I hope. So, yeah, that was my first exposure here. There was about 70 people here. We all crammed in. We all made it work. Eric and Lily did cooking for 10 days. A gigantic effort. We had caravans here. It was amazing. And then, of course, many of our lamas have come here. All this lineage holders of Sakya have come here. Blessed the place with high empowerments. I don't want to list them all. So that's been amazing. I feel the place has been completely blessed by them. And one of the other highlight I can remember is when there was a nun's ordination ceremony done at Shakyamuni Buddhist Center, and then Lama invited all those people to come here. And a big full-size coach drove up the hill, and we had 300 people here, I think, for lunch. And these 3 Vietnamese abbots with their traditional hats and cloaks, Zen people. I've never seen it. They sat here. The whole place was filled. Oh, it was an amazing time. And then other times, I've been here on my own in the middle of winter, just me, and the birds, and the kangaroos and the rabbits. We've seen deer here on this property, 3 deer one time. Yeah, so it's been quite an amazing place. I've learned much Dharma. Of course, from Lama Choedak and other people. And another highlight that really sticks to me is who's the monk from Lorungar who came here? Lodo Tsutrum? Kodo Tsutrum Lodo came here. And he was here with a small amount of people. And I showed him the huts. And all of a sudden he said, oh, and he looked at the valley and he said, this is a really nice place. And he sat down and he said, I want to meditate. And I was just aghast. I went, oh my God, this guy is really high Lama. He just sat on the ground. So that was amazing. And lots of people come here from Bhutan and Tibet, and they say, this looks like their home. They feel really at home here. Yeah, I feel it's been some kind of my karma to live here for a while. And yeah, I thank the society for allowing me to do that. And that's about all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Taikin Tachinla, thank you for holding the fort for such a long time and being he's a permanent entity. Yes. We also have Paul. Paul's just rushing around. He's coming in. Paul's a little shy to speak, but so maybe he's like. But not waiting for Paul. Jamyangla. Oh, he's here.
He's serving rice, so let him serve.
Yeah, let him serve rice. Jamyangla, could you please come up and say a word? Jamyangla is our resident monk, and he's been part of the society for over 20 years, is a student of Lama Choedak Rinpoche, and he's been definitely coming here for all those years. And Jamyangla, if you could please.
Hi everyone. I've also, as Tachin mentioned, been a part of Virupa since more or less its inception. And I was in my early 20s, and I was really looking for a place where I could learn how to practice and live in the Dharma, so to speak. And I definitely found that here. I spent a few months here in late 2003, whereas Tachin mentioned we had the first Karma Biding retreat, the 10-day retreat in October that was held here on our own premises. And in that retreat, me and Tachin, it was the next one after 2004, I had taken novice ordination, and me and Tachin slept in the shed next door, the tree shed. That's how packed it was. So I've since also spent a few months here and there at SEBA, our retreat centre down in Victoria, and I've just found it's just been so valuable just spending this time living in a Dharma environment, which I can then, I don't actually live here these days, but I can take that home. And like, for example, at home now, I have a study, which I've turned into a small shrine room with a shrine, of course, with all my books and dictionaries and so forth, and a meditation box that I built. And I really think that having spent this time at Everett, at Virupa and at SEBA, that has really benefited me, and I've found a way to live as I see the best way to live in the Dharma as a monk. So that's a very impromptu speech about why my connection to this place, and we've had many high teachers visit this place and other Bhutanese friends, Tibetan friends, and in particular Luding Kenshin visited here in 2004 where I requested my ordination, and I received that a few weeks later in Sydney at a centre there. So I really encourage everyone, find some sort of connection to this place. It's a very special place, and contribute to it every way you can. I remember at one stage I painted you might have noticed on the way up, there's a driveway, and about halfway up there's a rock on the left, you'll see, with a stupa on top of it, and it has Om Mani Padme Hung written in the different colours. I actually did that originally, and then it weathered away for a few years. And I never got the chance to repaint it, but I've just noticed coming up here today that someone actually has repainted it. So please contribute in whatever way you can, and that'll definitely create a Dharma connection. And you'll find Dharma in your heart through doing that. So Virupa's a place that's, I always think of it, it doesn't really belong to anyone in particular, but Virupa belongs in our hearts. So please continue to keep that connection to Virupa and the Dharma. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamila.
This is probably better.
That's better? Oh, look at that. Really hear me. Right.
Your rice.
Please enjoy your rice. There's some scripts coming as well. We're a little bit behind schedule, but we're doing okay. We're not in a rush. Yeah. So, Paul, I can see you there. Would you come up and say a few words? Paul is a resident here at the Retreat Centre.
Lydia.
Oh, you can't use this. Oh, it sounds so nice. All right.
We can do back.
Oh, that's all right.
Hello.
All right, Paul, use this.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear in the back? Yep. All right. Well, hello, everybody. I have to say that public speaking is not my forte, but I'm imagining you all naked, so it's making it a lot easier. My name's Paul. Last night, Rinpoche put me on the spot and asked me to talk. And I thought to myself, Rinpoche, really, if I have been listening to your teachings in the way I should be listening to your teachings, I don't exist, they don't exist, this doesn't exist, what is there to say? And that kept me up till like 3 a.m. But then I thought a little more, and it's not just empty, there's things that go into emptiness, there's things that makes up things. So I'll talk about those make-up things. For instance, you've probably heard that this used to be a car garage, and yes, so you're all sort of cars. And now it's not. And what went into making this a car garage was people. What went into making this gompa is also people. I think the reasons are two different reasons. One is for cars and one is for Dharma. But your car got you here, so that's always a good thing. What am I saying? So I really can't say much because I've been here for now only a year in comparison to Tartan, who's I think was born here.
But you painted.
Oh yes, I painted. And although many of you may be feeling that this is a very relaxing place, it's not when you're painting. it's quite tedious. But I think that, for me, has been the main teaching, as they say. And the only way I could see that painting could be a teaching is through the teachings of the Buddha. Because, for instance, I did come here for 1.5 years ago quite stressed. I think a lot of people in this country, or the West if you call it that, do come to Dharma stressed. And I did a retreat, and a very short retreat here. It was quite good, but I don't think it worked. It still was stressed.
You're still here.
So where was I going with this? There was a good conclusion. So yeah, I mean, why all of this? So yeah, we're celebrating Virupa's birthday. Virupa's been going for 20 years. And in that time, I think you would have, if you had the time, like thousands of stories of people's experiences, be them long-term experiences or short-term experiences, brief experiences. But I think Virupa's offered, as it's said, you know, a place to drink from the well of Dharma. And there's so much more to say, but I forget, which is probably good because you're probably all hungry. That's the main reason I'm here is for lunch, and it's free. So
I'll pass it on to the next person, will it? There's more, but maybe we'll talk about it at lunch if you're interested.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good. Yeah, Paul's been he made the chai as well, so you missed that. And he, of course, welcomes all of our community up here. And specifically, he's made a really good friendship with the Tibetan and particular Bhutanese community who visit our centre almost every weekend. So thank you, Paul, very much. And please continue to stay here and as far as your karma goes. So next I would really like to invite up Eric. And if you could, Eric, could you come up, please? Eric is a long-term member of the Society, and he has lived here both as an ordained Sangha and otherwise. So Eric, over to you. Thank you.
So what am I going to say? Because Paul and Tachin and Jamyang really said everything. Heavens. If we had a day, I could probably go on all day, because there is there's an encyclopedia of rich and rewarding experiences from both Siba and Virupa. I would suggest that if you've never lived at a Dharma centre or a retreat centre, don't. However, if you have, I think you'd agree with me that it is the most painful, rewarding, exhausting, exhilarating, horrible, wonderful experience that you can have in your life. I would say that it has done more to ripen the Dharma within me than having a baby or being married, which I think will also ripen a lot of karma for you. But I certainly have to say that when you come here, you're in a space with a group of people that you wouldn't necessarily make friends with. You meet a whole lot of people that you wouldn't really normally meet in your life. And you're forced to do something about that. You're forced to do something about what's inside of you. It's a little like trying to cut a cake with a knife by holding the blade and trying to cut it with the handle. You can keep doing that, but it's going to keep being very, very, very painful. And after a while, you start to ask yourself, why am I trying to cut this cake with the handle? Why don't I try the blade? And as people, as this place, as this space starts to work on you, and you start to drop the rubbish that you just don't need, the anger, the impatience, the craving, the greed, the rubbish in your life, worrying about things that are so unimportant, as you start to drop that, as you start to feel the space between people, the space between moments of time, and the timelessness that exists in space, you start to appreciate that, hey, everything's okay. It's actually never been a problem. And the strangers become your friends, and your friends become your teachers, and your teachers become your friends. And you start to connect in a way that is far, far deeper than anything you could ever imagine. And then when you go out and you see strangers, people you don't know, you realise that you can actually connect with anyone now. You don't have to limit yourself to your family or your little clique. You can actually touch and be touched by anybody. And that reminds me, hello to everybody who is on Zoom. Moira, hi, and Petra, hi, and whoever else is joining us in the cloud welcome and thank you for being part of the space. So thank you all. That's it. And enjoy.
What are you doing now?
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Now I do nothing and lots of it. I'm retired now and I live down at Bateman's Bay.
He's making the model.
Ulladulla. Yeah, I'm making a little model of the new building that's going to be built. That's going to be built very soon. Where's the committee?
It's not a figment of imagination anymore.
No, because I was worried that it was a rumour. But I've heard that this rumour may evolve into a reality. So I'm building another little wooden model, and very soon we'll show that one and you'll see what the place is like. But in the meantime, anybody who wants to donate, please do. And like and subscribe this video. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Eric got a YouTube channel called The Old Man. The Old Man.
The old man Eric.
The Old Man Eric.
Yes.
He's into scuba diving right now. But today he has to be a reptile.
Thank you. Thank you, Rinpoche. Yeah, this is our dry Buddhist humour. So, thank you, everyone. I really do want to invite one more person who has been both Donald and Sylvia, who have been part of our society from the inception of this place. Indeed, in fact, this place would not be here for us to enjoy and meditate and do retreats if it wasn't for Sylvia and Donald. They both still continue to run our sister centre in Sydney, and we're very, very happy that they could join us here today. So, Sylvia, if I may please get you to come up and give us a word. Sylvia's at the back. Hello. Thank you, Sylvia. Kind of holding both at the moment.
Okay. Hello, I'm Sylvia, and we're very fortunate to be associated with this space for a long time, right from the inception. In fact, when we first came, there were old vacuum washing machines, I think, next door, and this was a garage. And my husband was helpful in helping Rinpoche acquire the property, from which we are very grateful that we have achieved so many things here. We've had the blessings of so many great teachers, and right from the beginning, the most important thing I remember was 20 years ago coming back from Lamdre and Rinpoche giving us Hevraja teachings here, and there was only about 5 or 6 of us. They were amazing teachings, Rinpoche, and I was very grateful. It's an imprinted and very lasting memory for me. And we had so many great teachers. We were so fortunate to meet His Eminence, His Holiness, all the great Sakya teachers. The imprint of this place has been amazing. So we're very, very grateful to have enjoyed it as long as we can. And if we can continue to enjoy it longer, that'd be great. And if we can't, well, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Dharma moves anyway. And we have great teachers. Thank you, Rinpoche, for all the work.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you all. So now, as we mentioned, I hope you enjoyed the rice, and so a little bit of sustenance to get you through circumambulation of the building. That's for sure.
It's a very long walk. Mount Kailash.
Yeah, we can pretend we're climbing Mount Everest or something like that. All right, so what we'll do is we'll get someone or 2 people to help out.
Zamyanala I will do that near to the door, so it's easier.
All right, of course,
Yeah.
as people come out.
If
All right.
Yeah, if you would line up with your shoes on first and wait outside, that might be easier rather than carrying these and then trying to put your shoes on. So put your shoes on and then wait where Tony is, and Jamian will give you your text, and then you put on your shoulder, and then I will lead. Tarchin will bring the incense holder, and then we will mindfully go around. And after we finish the circumambulation, we'll come under the carport. We all have a photo, and then we'll do the cake cutting there before the lunch. Because otherwise, cake cutting, everybody disperse. We can't gather everybody. So we cut the cake first after the group photo, and then we go. Then we return the text here. After we come back, circumambulation, do the group photo. After the group photo, we bring the text back in here, and then we go back to the flagpole where we do the flag raising ceremony, which is very important because all our prayers are imprinted on the piece of paper, cloth, and during which I will say a few words how to make the flag raising ceremony as part of your personal prayer to the world. So we will do that now.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, everyone.
Lydia, the microphone. Here. Okay.
Oh, yes, microphone.